Is that your TV in the background, Joanne?
Yes, I'm shutting it down right now. I kept waiting to see if I heard you guys.
I just showed up a few minutes early, that's all.
That's okay. Well, I thought I'm going to watch the board meeting and I'm going to have Ohio State on at the same time.
Oh, you're one of those people.
No, it's just because Ohio State's been great for the Big Ten. And I thought, well, this is a big thing. I might as well be entertained really tonight.
Well, my dad's probably watching Ohio State too, because that's his team.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah, he tells me that he's been an Ohio State fan since Woody Hayes, and I'm telling him that I don't know who Woody Hayes was, but that's probably because before I was born.
You don't know who Woody Hayes? Oh my gosh. He spoke at an FFA convention back probably in 79, 80 when Pam was in FFA, and she just thought he was the greatest speaker she'd ever heard.
Oh my God, 79, 80. I think I was like still in middle school then. I didn't care about football.
Yep.
So I assume you're warm down there?
It was 75 today.
Let me just say, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you.
I know. But we were at the doctor's office most of the day, so I really wasn't out in the sunshine too much.
Oh, well, it was kind of blah today.
Okay, no, the sun shines here just about every day, so that's great.
Well, I used to live in Jacksonville. Well, actually, I lived in Mayport, which is where the naval station is.
Yeah.
And it used to rain every day at like 3 o'clock for about 10 minutes and we were done.
Yeah, it don't last long.
Yeah, that was where my son found out that iguanas, those little teeny, not iguanas, but those little gecko lizards can lose their tail.
Yeah, the geckos. Yep, yeah.
He wanted me to glue it back on.
Oh my God. No, we have lots of geckos.
And those frogs that hang from your porch. Did you have those? We used to have frogs that hang from the porch.
No, we don't have them. We have lots of squirrels going around my screened-in porch.
No, he used to, well, he was a precocious child. He did put a frog in my bed.
Oh, God. Mine would probably try it, but they knew they'd probably get their neck wrung.
I always called that attitude adjustment.
Well, the grandson that's staying at the farmhouse has a boa constrictor. And I told him, I said, when I'm not there, you can have the creature there. And it's in like a tank thing. I said, but when I come home, I don't care if you stay, but your creature cannot stay. No way would I have that thing in my house. No way.
Well, when my kids were little, one of them wanted a tarantula, and I said, okay, but I've got a lighter and a can of Raid to take care of it.
Very good.
Yeah, if the Raid didn't kill it, the fire would.
Yeah. How are things going there for you guys?
It's busy, you know, putting out one fire after another.
Yeah, yeah. But you're all working together good?
Pretty much. Why is
Good.
it in an error state? Well, I printed something and it's not coming out, so.
Oh, gee.
I'll just have to keep this up on my screen for the meeting. I'll be the only one that has it, probably. Yes, it's going to be quite the meeting. It's going to be long.
It is?
Well,
Okay,
there's quite the agenda.
I seen the agenda that was posted.
Well, yeah, it is what it is.
Yep, yep, you got things to take care of, you gotta take care of them.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that it doesn't last like 3 hours or anything. One, because it takes at least twice that amount of time to do the minutes, which you know.
Oh,
And see, and then Anita does them, and then I have to listen to them again. So she does them and
make
has to
sure.
do it twice. It has to do it like 6 hours, and then I have to do another 6.
Yep,
So it's time consuming. Yeah.
but you
So
don't have somebody nitpicking you like you did before, do you?
no, it was. I'm not going to be cruel or anything. There was an agenda involved, and I understand that, and we're all done with that.
Yep, 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 we moved on, that's a good thing.
It's real easy for me to move on. I don't hold a grudge. You have
That's
to
good.
really piss me off for me to hold a grudge. I held one for 2 years once with my dad.
Ooh, and that's not good when it's your parent.
No, and that's why I started talking to him again, because it's family is important, and you only have one set of
Definitely.
parents. And
Yep, yep.
no, I printed that. All right, I'm gonna quit looking for it before I drive myself crazy. It's a short
You'll
trip.
be glad when you finally can be at the hall and have a meeting there and not have to do all this.
Yes and no. Yes, because it'd make it easier if there's something that I need for the meeting during the meeting that happens to be at the hall and I'm not there.
Right.
No, because I can sit here on my patootie in my pajamas if I really want to. And if I really, really want to, I could probably have an adult cocktail, but I won't. I mean,
You might slur your minutes at the end of the meeting.
yeah. I want to be able to at least take notes, which reminds me, I just put my agenda away. I have too many files on my desk.
Please stop. William,
This is my workload for tomorrow.
Gee.
So I'll put that aside. Wait a minute, I forgot one. Some minutes. I have board of review minutes in here. I talk to myself, so please bear with me.
I do that all the time.
When I start answering, then I know it's time to call the doctor. Hasn't happened
Sometimes
yet.
it helps when we answer.
Actually, once as a child, when my mom was going through something, I watched her have an entire conversation with the bathroom faucet. So, we all do it.
Yep.
Okay, so this goes with this. That was just stuck. There's gotta be more than one. So what exactly do they do at the River Raisin Watershed Council?
They discuss, we have a lot of good speakers that come in, and then we have some people that start up by Manchester and they walk the River Raisin and they clean out log jams, and then they tell about it. They tell about the little insects and little creatures that they find in there. They'll have some biology teachers bring their kids out there to see the different things. And so there's a lot of educational things that go on. And then when we have our meetings, they're discussing it and showing us everything that they've done with it. And we've
Okay.
always had a person that was working for the watershed. But then we had one that was there for probably 2 years. And then after that, we'd get one for 3 months or 6 months. That was a student that would come and work because we never could afford to pay him very much. But it's been very, very educational.
Well, when I talked to them today, because I thought you were the delegate last year, I was going by memory, and I always question myself on that, even though I find out I'm usually right.
I've been for years and years and years and years.
So, but I thought I remembered it from last year, and it's like, no, I'm gonna ask her just in case.
Yep, that's good. That's good. Lloyd Sipe, when he had been the delegate, when he was a trustee, he's the one that got me started going to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I brought the little notification they sent me so I can remember to put that at the end, you know, when they have
Yeah.
board of trustee comments. Hey, I could
That's-
put it as the clerk's report.
Yeah, that's good.
So we don't have an election coming up just yet, but we do have one this year.
We do what, school?
Yeah, I think it's Washtenaw Intermediate. I'd have to look at the email again. I was trying to do payroll and pay bills and answer the phone and all that good stuff today, so I didn't get a chance to look at it.
Will it be in May, like when they always had it in May?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I see Anita's deer head.
Hey, my dear head, you know. It's the Michigan or the Monroe County ISD and something to do with the Monroe Museum or Mazel.
Well, and I saw something from the Washtenaw County guy earlier today,
Okay.
but I didn't read it. I was just trying to get rid of the crap, you know, like buy stuff from HP, buy stuff from Staples, you know, the whole you have an outdated Comcast email. Here, touch this link, like I'm some kind of idiot. So, ouch. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab a glass of or a bottle of water before we start.
This is fun. I can sit in Florida and watch you guys.
Not fair. I know that voice.
Yeah, I know that face too. What are you doing, mister?
I just got back from Florida last night.
Oh, good, good. Looked like you and Peggy had a good time.
Yeah,
Good. You need that.
yeah, every now and then.
Yep, yep. You work hard for us.
What's the temperature down there, Joanne?
75.
Ow.
It was beautiful today.
Device audio. Okay. I got to click around. Where is it? Nope. Lord.
The meeting's not started yet, so being video.
Switch camera. Yeah.
All righty. We've got Daryl, Penny, myself. And Mike. All right. Looks like we're all here. Pardon me.
Are we for sure that's Daryl Nichols?
No.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
I'm not having very good luck with my internet connection, so I'm doing it through my phone.
okay.
So I got them both going at once.
Okay.
Oh, I got a couple more minutes yet.
Oh, heck no. Use this one. Time is it? Can't even tell.
Yeah, it's 7:29.
What's this one?
Okay, I'm gonna call the meeting to order at 7:30. Somebody got a flag for the Pledge of Allegiance? There we go.
Okay. Oh, you got it?
Yep. All right, I pledge allegiance to
To the
the flag
flag of the United States of America and to the republic
The Republic for which it
which it
stands,
stands, one nation, under
under
God,
God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Indivisible, and justice for all.
All right. Good thing I didn't take that home.
Okay, Kim, can you do the roll call?
All right. Trustee Mike Pankowski,
Present.
trustee Daryl Nichols,
present.
supervisor Penny Turner,
Present.
treasurer Lisa Moore,
Here.
and clerk Kimberly Sharp. That would be me. I think I'm here.
Okay, second item, approval of the agenda. Is there any changes to the agenda? I'd like to move under unfinished business, move number 3 to 5 and put 5 up to number 3 to switch them.
Works for me. Whoops.
Make a motion to accept the agenda with the changes under unfinished business, moving number 3 down to number 5, water grant, and then moving number 5 up to number 3 for township wages.
I'll second it. Do you want a roll call vote or do you want, like last time?
I think it was recommended by Bondi that we do that.
Okay. Okay. What am I missing? Oh, there it is. Okay, Supervisor Penny Turner,
Yes.
Treasurer Lisa Moore,
Yes.
Clerk Kimberly Sharp, that's me, yes. Trustee Mike Pankowski,
Yes.
trustee Daryl Nichols,
Yes.
all in favor, motion carried. Okay.
First citizens time. Nobody for first citizens time?
No.
You see anything, Kim?
No, nobody's raising their hand. Nobody's unmuting themselves.
I'm sorry, did you guys already approve the minutes?
No.
I'm just making sure. Thank you.
Mhm. Okay, being no,
I have a question.
who is it?
So one of my biggest question is under unfinished business, you guys have a grant that you guys are applying for. But under PA 188 of the special assessment, it basically states that the proceeding basically has to stop if 20% of the percentage of the property in a proposed special assessment is filed with a written objection, that the petitioner needs to get 50% to proceed. And wouldn't unfinished business be considered proceeding?
The water district has not been defined yet. That's not what the PER is. I have talked to other people to find out whether we would be in violation applying for this grant. We're not spending any money for it. They're going to be doing it. Manic Smith is filling it out for us for free. So it's not like we're going to invest any more money into it. And since we don't have a defined water district and you've got 20% of a district that doesn't exist, they still are developing the other district. She is out there getting the informal petitions so she can figure out who wants water, and then the formal petitions to get the 51% will go out. So we're not in violation of anything. I've already talked to
Well, how can you file for a grant without having a
because we have the PER and they need that.
well, if you have it, that means that would be set in stone, correct?
No, it's not set in stone. It's just
Well, then why would
it's an
spend it for a-
engineering review. They have not set the district. They're saying, if you do it this way, it's going to cost this much. If you do it this
Okay.
way, it'll cost this much. So there's nothing you have to worry about going forward. There is no district yet. This is just trying to get a grant to help.
My second question is, why is everybody signing a petition stating that they are going to wait until they get 50% of the proposed district before filing for a grant?
Because
These
when they
are
got the 20%
water.
signatures, there wasn't a district. So the 20% of signatures, they just got general signatures all over the township. There is no defined district.
Well, I just feel like you guys are circumventing the no water petitions. I mean, you can consider it however you want, but I mean, you're also
Please.
going against the majority of the township by doing this.
Please
I mean,
feel free to call the MTA, the state of Michigan, to have these questions answered. You can talk to maybe Monroe County Commissioner's Office can help you with this.
All right, I guess that's all my questions then.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, moving on. Approval of the December 14, 2020 minutes. They should be in your packet. Is there any questions on the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second it.
Motion made by trustee Pankowski, seconded by treasurer Moore
Lisa
to
Moore.
approve the December. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, to approve the December 14, 2020 minutes as presented. Roll call, please.
Working on it. Okay. I will say yes. Clerk Kimberly Sharp, trustee Mike Pankowski,
Yes.
Trustee Daryl Nichols,
Yes.
trustee or Supervisor Penny Turner,
Yes.
and treasurer Lisa Moore.
Yes.
All in favor, motion carried.
Okay, supervisors report.
No, we have to approve the Board of Review.
It's not on the agenda.
No, the minutes.
I know that it's not on the agenda though.
Okay.
Are they in the packet?
I remember seeing them.
Yes.
I thought it was part of the assessor's report.
I think it is. I don't
It's two
know.
different meetings.
We have to- I'm not sure if we have to approve them. I know they're part of the assessor's report.
Do you want to do this under the assessor's report since we've got to do that? It's not expressly put onto the agenda.
Yeah, let's do it then.
Penny, I don't believe the board has to approve the Board of Review minutes.
I don't think so either. I know we never have in the past.
I don't remember doing it last year, but
I think it should just be a part of your report, Barry.
well, I have it. But that's it.
Okay, moving on, supervisor's report. A couple things, met with Milenary Fire Department, and we'll be discussing that later on the agenda. I attended the Board of Review meeting and was quite impressed with the empathy that the board has for our residents. It was a good meeting. I contacted Senator Peters regarding internet. I'm waiting on a response from him. We had our state boiler inspection, but I haven't gotten the report back on that, so I'm waiting on that. And I want to thank the PC members. They did a really great job at the meeting. And that's all I have.
I'll make a motion to accept the supervisor report.
Second.
Be Daryl. Alright.
Motion by Sharp and seconded by Nichols to accept the supervisor's report.
Yep. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I'm going to take a roll call vote. Trustee Daryl Nichols,
Yes.
trustee Mike Pankowski,
Yes.
supervisor Penny Turner,
Yes.
treasurer Lisa Moore,
Yes.
pardon me, and clerk Kimberly Sharp, that would be me. I'll vote yes. All in favor was all of us. Motion carried.
Treasurer's report.
I have nothing to report.
Okay. Clerk's report.
Well, I don't have a lot to report. I am looking for somebody to be an alternate for Joanne Darling. She is our delegate to the River Raisin Watershed. And they're looking for an alternate. So anybody who would like to volunteer for that, please contact me and I will put your name on the sheet of paper before I send that in. That's it.
I make a motion to accept the clerk's report.
Second it.
Second.
Moved by Supervisor Turner, seconded by Treasurer Moore to accept the clerk's report.
Writing some notes. Okay. Supervisor Penny Turner,
Yes.
trustee Daryl Nichols,
Yes.
trustee Mike Pankowski.
Yeah. Yes.
Treasurer Lisa Moore,
Yes.
and myself, clerk Sharp, yes. All in favor, yes, and motion carried. Whoops. It's like right on my mouse pad.
Next is the building department report. It's dated January 8th. The month of December, the building department issued 4 building permits, 2 electrical, and 1 mechanical, for a total of 7 permits in the amount of $3,390.07. Make a motion to approve the building department report.
Second.
I'll let Mike have that one.
Moved by Turner, seconded by Pinkowski to accept the building department report.
Trustee Daryl Nichols,
Yes.
trustee Mike Pinkowski,
Yes.
treasurer Lisa Moore,
Yes.
supervisor Penny Turner,
Yes.
and clerk Kimberly Sharp, that's me. They're all in favor, 0 opposed, motion carried.
Next is the assessor's report, or excuse me, zoning, no, assessors. I don't have that one. I get to print it out.
That was the
Somebody-
one that was emailed while we were talking on the phone earlier.
Okay, do you have it, Kim, that you can read it?
Yeah, it says, London Township Assessor Monthly Report to the Board, December 2020. December Board of Review met on 12/15 in front of the Township Hall to comply with the state COVID guidelines on the indoor public meetings. The board acted on 9 petitions, including hardships exemptions, disabled veterans exemptions, and qualified agriculture exemptions. The Board of Review member training requirement, PA 660, requires the State Tax Commission audit to ensure the Board of Review members are participating in training. Beginning in 2022, Board of Review members will be required to complete Board of Review training at least once every 2 years to meet this audit requirement. This training will be offered in person by the State Tax Commission or by outside organizations with the State Tax Commission approval and use of State Tax Commission approved materials. Cost for board member training. The STC training materials are no cost, but there would be a fee for an instructor if we choose to hire one. I may be eligible to teach the class and will ask the STC. The STC taught course fee is being determined and they will be reported next month. The Michigan Townships Association also offers an approved course, and that fee will also be reported next month. The personal property canvass was conducted on December 30th, 2020 to determine the status of all eligible taxable commercial and industrial property in the township. Field visits to determine accurate property value for 2021 are concluding this month. The AMAR required reinspection of the township continues and should be concluded this spring. Barry Waldron, MCAO Assessor, London Township.
I'll make a motion to accept the zoning administrator's report.
You mean the assessor's report?
Right, assessors. I'm getting ahead.
Second.
Moved by Turner, seconded by Nichols to accept the building department report.
Wasn't that the assessor's report?
Sorry, the
Yes.
assessor's report.
All right. So motion made by Penny Turner and seconded by Daryl Nichols to accept the what? Assessor's report. The building department report is what it says on here, but it should say assessor. So there was a mistake on the agenda. Treasurer Lisa Moore,
Yes.
trustee Mike Pinkowski,
Yes.
trustee Daryl Nichols,
Yes.
Supervisor Penny Turner.
Yes.
Clerk Sharp, that's me. I said yes. Oh, we were all in favor, 0 were opposed, motion carried.
Okay, now the zoning administrator's report.
All right, am I reading it this time too?
If you'd like, Ron, go ahead.
Melissa had me spoiled. I like it when she read them, but I'll go ahead. Zoning Administrator Code Enforcement Officer Report for the month of December 2020. Submitted to the Township Board of Trustees for the January 2021 board meeting of the ponds, extractions, and reclamations inspections. All active ponds, extractions, and reclamations have been inspected in December 2020. 3 violations found, 2 instances of stockpiles within the required setbacks. Warnings were issued at the time of inspection, then followed up in writing. 1 violation rectified the same day, the other rectified that same week. 1 instance of fill brought in and placed on a project for use on an adjacent future project. The fill was concrete and asphalt millings for a driveway. Stop work order was issued, fills ordered removed. Site plan has been submitted for the adjacent future project, and applicants applying for a driveway permit from the Monroe County Road Commission. Reclamation work has taken place on several of the extractions and ponds, and it looks as though they will meet the April 21st deadline to be finished. Complaints, I had none in December, at least none that I can recall. Focused on a lot of blight. Special land use compliance check, Darling Road is in compliance. The illegal occupation of parcels, the one in particular on Tuttle Hill that's been a thorn, notified our London Township Attorney Carrie Bondi for court level enforcement. The report says awaiting a response, but at about 6 p.m. I got a response from her. But I will also be sending her a blight violation and unpermitted fence violation soon after we get this one going. Blight update. In December, 13 properties chosen for blight enforcement due to uninhabitable structures, junk, trash, and rubbish. 4 property owners have agreed to pull demo permits. 2 have been issued. 2 are showing much progress working towards that goal by providing contractors information and DTE wrecking clearances, letting me know that they're serious. And on a few of those, I've got no response, so I'm sending the second and final warning to be issued to others. And speaking with Carrie Bondi in regards to the illegal occupation of the parcel with the people and the campers on Tuttle Hill and building all the structures, the board has to approve her moving forward in circuit court. So I'm not sure if that has to be an agenda item this meeting. It definitely needs to be as soon as possible if we can get that done. So she can get started. We need to get that ball rolling fast. So if that can be approved for her to move forward on this, that would be great for the residents that have been suffering with the people on that property for the last year. And that's it for my report. Respectfully submitted, Ron Youngblood, Zoning Administrator.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
I'll second it.
Motion by Pinkowski, seconded by Sharp to accept the zoning administrator's report.
Supervisor Penny Turner.
Yes.
Trustee Mike Pinkowski.
Yes.
Treasurer Lisa Moore.
Yes.
Trustee Daryl Nichols.
Yes.
Clerk Sharp, that would be me. Yes, all 5 of us in favor, 0 opposed, motion carried.
Next is planning commission report.
So the planning commission met last Monday, and that was our elections for new officers for the planning commission. The chairman elected was Dan Cable. He is now the planning commission chair. The vice chair is Doug Darling, and the secretary that has been elected is Anita Straub. So we've got all new people in there for our officers. We had one site plan come, and it was a pond by Craig Scheich. That is on the agenda for later. The planning commission did approve that to move that on. The pond was already dug. So I know Ron had some communications with the gentleman, so that was done. We also had a lot of discussion about past
ordinances that we had worked on fill in a small pond and extraction and the larger of the ponds. And there seems to be a question whether or not those were valid or not valid in the steps that we took. And I believe that's still under review. I have not heard to the contrary, unless somebody can tell me that right now. But, you know, we're looking to move them forward at the Planning Commission and get them off our table. We've been working on those for a few years, and to find out that the process was not valid the way it was done. Like I said, we're still waiting on the answer for that. So that's where that stands. Anybody's got any questions on that, I guess?
I don't. I make a motion to approve the Planning Commission report.
I'll second it.
Moved by Turner, seconded by Moore to accept the Planning Commission report.
Okay. Trustee Daryl Nichols,
Yes.
trustee Mike Pankowski,
Yes.
supervisor Penny Turner,
Yes.
treasurer Lisa Moore,
Yes.
and myself, clerk Sharp, yes. All in favor, 0 opposed, motion carried.
Next is reading of monthly disbursements.
Okay. From the general fund, total gross payroll was $7,730. Mileage reimbursement, which was added to net pay, is $121.90, and employer taxes for this last payroll on January 11th was $897.40 or 41 cents, bringing the total payroll to $12,750.18. The vendor payments for the general fund came to $19,300.44. If you add $19,300 plus $12,750.18 comes to $32,050.62 for the general fund.
I make a motion to approve the expenditures under the general fund for $32,050.62.
I'll second.
Okay, do you want to do the roll call vote now? It's separated on this one.
We usually do them all at once, don't we?
I'd have to go back and look at last month.
That's all right. Go ahead.
We'll just roll call it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Supervisor Penny Turner,
Yes.
clerk Sharp, that would be me. Yes. Treasurer Lisa Moore,
Yes.
trustee Daryl Nichols,
Yes.
and trustee Mike Pankowski.
Yes.
Motion carried. For the sewer fund, there was only one check. That check was to the village of Mady for $3,360. And that was all from the sewer fund. The total monthly expenses for all funds is $35,410.62.
Okay, so should we do the sewer fund or do the total?
Well, we'll do the sewer fund because if you add the general fund and the sewer fund together, that's where you get the total. So, so we're going to be voting on the 3360.
Make a motion to approve the sewer fund expenditure of $3,360.
I'll second it.
Moved by Turner, seconded by Moore to approve the disbursements from the sewer fund totaling $3,360.
Okay, roll call vote, trustee Michael Pankowski,
Yes.
trustee Daryl Nichols.
Yes.
Pardon me? Sorry, I've been up since 6. Supervisor Penny Turner,
Yes.
clerk Sharp, that's me, yes, and treasurer Lisa Moore.
Yes.
Motion carried.
So total monthly expenses was
$35,410.62.
Okay, do we have to make a motion to approve all that, or are we good?
I think we should be good since we voted on the other two.
Moving on, unfinished business, Monroe County Road Commission contracts. You should all have these in your packet. A couple of them are just like the mowing for 19,000. That's a yearly thing with DK Outdoor Services. So that one has to be approved. Second one is a joint effort with Exeter Township for Rosenville Road. Our portion is $22,466, and that's for stoning. The third one is chip sealing for Darling Road, Tuttle Hill to the end of the asphalt. And that's cost is being covered by Monroe County Road Commission at $18,240. And the last one is the one for Wanty Road. We got 2 new bids, taking out, there was question whether the haul route should be included in that. So we got a proposal for it without the haul route. So it's going to be Wanty Road from Allison to Darling. And we got 2 separate bids. The first one is 2-inch aggregate lift 6s, 13,360 feet with chloride. That came in at $20,120. The second one is 2-inch aggregate lift,
There it is.
13,360 feet with chloride. And this is considered the Monroe County Road Commission blend. And that come in at 48,916. I
Where do you
asked,
see the 13?
I asked her the difference between the 6s and the Monroe County Road Commission blend. She said the Monroe County Road Commission blend is better and it works better with chloride. So what's the board's pleasure?
Who will be applying that chloride, Penny? Who applies that?
They did not tell me that. I can try to find out.
Because I've done a little research and I'm looking for it right now, but I was looking through some minutes of Dundee, and I looked back at some of their prices on chloride, and it didn't seem like it doubled the cost like it does there on the one that we have. And
That's also Daryl. That's 6 S's versus the Monroe County blend, different as well.
Yeah, it's 2 different stone blends.
yeah,
2 different.
right. But what about the chloride? That's different as well, right?
Correct. I would wish that it was broken down a little bit better of like what it would be for the chloride for that section of the road, but
Absolutely. I would definitely like to table this till we can get some more information on that.
Okay, so you want to know the
because
pricing?
I'm pretty sure we do have a little bit of time. Yeah, yeah, what the chloride would be to be applied, because that's quite a bit of difference. I mean, that's roughly double.
Okay, can we go ahead and prove the other one so that we don't hold up Exeter any longer?
That's Rossingville Road one.
Yeah, the mowing contract, Rosenville and Darling Road. That's not gonna cost us anything, so if we could get those approved and I get them signed and get them back to them.
I'll make a motion that we approve
All
those.
right, I make
Those
a
three.
motion for the mowing contract for 19,000 for the year. I'm in that motion also would be Rossingville Road, Stony Creek to Oakville Waltz for $22,466. That's London Township's parcel part. And
Making a motion to do what? To approve it?
yes, to approve it. And those were, we'll put
The
them all
last one is
underneath one.
Darling Road. Mike, you want to include Darling Road in your motion?
That's yes, and Darling Road for single chip seal for 100% Monroe County.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion by Pinkowski, seconded by Nichols to approve the mowing contract for 19,000. Rosenville Road, South Stony Creek to Oakville Waltz. Our portion is 22,466. Darling Road, Tuttle Hill to end asphalt, 18,240, which is covered by the road commission. Do I have a second?
I'll
I
second
do.
it.
I'm sorry, roll call.
Well, Mike Pinkowski was the first, right?
Yes,
Who seconded it?
Nichols.
But I'm making room here. Four, five. Trustee Penny Turner,
Yes,
or Supervisor Penny Turner, sorry.
that's okay.
Trustee Mike Pinkowski,
Yes,
Trustee Daryl Nichols,
Yes,
Clerk Sharp, that would be me, yes. Treasurer Lisa Moore,
Yes.
motion carried.
just remember we got tabled for Wani Road.
Yeah, I'll follow up with them to see, get a better breakdown on the chloride costs. Okay, moving on to dumpsters.
Okay.
Did we ever find out if there is a penalty?
is.
if-
There is a contract. It wasn't signed by me, so I didn't know about it. And we're on the hook for like 3 years, I think. Should be in your packet.
Yeah, it says 36 months.
Yeah, it's on the back. So I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do with this since we're
When
on,
was this contract signed?
it's on the contract.
11/4 of 19.
Yep, I see it there.
But Anita has included an email that has a price breakdown. Looks like you can get them to lock. Shut up, Marlon. Do you want to leave it the way it is since we're locked in for 3 years? They have something with a lock set up, so people wouldn't be able to throw it in the trash can. They would probably just throw it around the trash can like they're doing now anyway, but
Yeah, I think even with the lock, they're just gonna put it beside it and we're gonna be paying for a lock that
yeah, it's not gonna make
serve our
any difference.
purpose.
Again, the exchange, because it's $100 exchange fee, or even to change it out if there was a bigger one.
Did
Now, I
they
believe
say,
we're every 2 weeks. We could go up in service to once a week, which bumps it up quite a bit.
did they say what the cost would be if you do break the contract? It says you can break it, but it doesn't say what it is. You give written notice.
Hold on for a minute. They would probably just want you to pay out the rest of your contract. That's usually the way they're written.
Okay.
Hey, Penny, just a little food for thought. I have some experience locking dumpsters when I was in the corporate world, and people will simply sabotage the locks. They'll shove wood into the keyholes and things like that because they're just upset that it's locked. So I didn't find that a very effective technique. Just, food for thought.
Thank you. I figured that they would just dump it beside it anyway, if it's locked. Okay, so it looks like we're kind of stuck with this.
Or cut it.
Okay, it says liquidated damages if the customer defaults or attempts to cancel contractor services or the service agreement. Customer agrees that the contractor's damages would be difficult, if not impossible to calculate. Therefore, customer agrees that in any such event, it shall pay all past due sums, all charges documented that were waived in lieu of accepting terms of the agreement. In addition, shall pay a liquidated damages and not as a penalty amount 6 times to the monthly rate plus any late pull fees. Sorry, the reading is, it's really small. So it'll probably be expensive.
Okay. What's the board's pleasure? Looks like we're stuck with this for 3 years.
We're already 2 years into it, so,
Okay.
or already a year into it, a year and a month. 2 months.
Yeah. We got just under 2 years left on that. I mean, if we're investing in anything, I would invest in a camera and put that dumpster right underneath it. And that's in the long run, that would pay for itself.
Is there
We're
any way
just
we
in
can
the
post signs on it? And it may not be effective, but post signs on there, no dumping of construction materials or anything like that.
We're just enabling these people to come and dump and dump and dump. That's what we're doing,
I agree.
Well, obviously, it's gonna be expensive to do it. I say we look into something that's pretty much cost effective.
Well, I'm planning on looking into getting cameras for the outside anyway with the grant, with the new cycle on the power plan like we did last year. So that could solve the problem because we'll be able to see who's dumping it especially if we move it closer to the building. Just
It
saying.
might actually be better to be right underneath the light,
Well, we have
so it's
nice
not right easy
LED.
access to pull in, pull out.
We have those nice LED lights that Gary installed, so those are nice and bright. They can smile for the camera.
Sounds good, Kim.
Okay, so we'll leave it as is. Moving on, township wages.
All right, did anybody, there is a thing in your packet. It's a little on the disjointed side. There's no summary, but I emailed you guys a summary earlier. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
I'm gonna have to navigate away from here for just a second so I can look at it. On the summary that, or on the thing that Anita had put in for me, some of these townships are pretty far away, so I didn't even include them. If you look, some of them don't have zoning. Some of them zoning and building are combined together. If the zoning and the building are combined together, you see that they pay a higher price. Exeter Township, they're pretty low at $14.50, but if you're doing two jobs, like, you know, Ron is doing code enforcement and ZA, so he is technically doing two jobs. His pay should be higher if you look at this. Now I can tell you how I came up to these numbers. If you look under Raisonville Township on the summary that we were put in your packet, I believe there's a typo here because his deputy clerk's yearly salary is not going to be $4,032 with benefits per year. Just not going to happen. So I didn't get an answer when I called them back, probably because they weren't there. So I extrapolated a little bit. I didn't know whether it was supposed to be $40,320 or $40,032. So I bumped it up to $40,320 and did the math, figuring that's got to be a full-time employee. And that's how I came up with the number under Raisonville Township, just so you know, for the deputy clerk and the treasurer, since they're paid the same. So I can share my screen for anybody who does not have that. Does everybody have a copy?
Yes.
Yes. I got a question. I got a question for Ron. How many hours a month do you work? Roughly.
Between 65 and 80. I haven't calculated an actual average, but that's pretty much it. Some months go over depending on what we got going on.
Right about under 20 hours a week.
Yeah, 15 to 20.
Okay.
Board meetings and PC meetings increase that average a little bit.
Does anybody have any questions about my calculations?
No.
No.
Well, as you can see, if you look at the calculations, asking to raise Ron's pay to where we had talked about before at the last meeting at 18, still would technically make him underpaid if he's doing two of those positions, because the ones that are combined are actually making more than $20 an hour. If you look at the deputy clerk and the deputy treasurer, an average of all of those comes to $18.48 for deputy clerks and $17.47 for deputy treasurers. And if you look at the building department, I did the average for that, which is $23.76. But a lot of those, if you look up there, are calculated, and they're for dual positions, which he is doing. So I do believe that both Anita, who has done an exemplary job for the last year and a half, deserves a raise, and I believe so does Ron. I do have Kiri Bondi working on a resolution where we can have a sliding scale where they get yearly raises until they reach a certain point. Those would be cost of living raises. And if they deserved more and the board felt that they deserved more, they could actually give them more if they would want to. But I don't have that from Bondi yet.
What was the ZA's starting rate?
Initially, I think it was 15. I don't have it in front of me.
15, Ron?
Yes, 15.
What was the deputy clerk's pay?
15.
Okay. What are they wanting to go to?
Well, we had discussed last week with before I had these numbers, putting Ron at 18. More than that would probably be appropriate, but you know, cost effective, poor township. We don't have, you know, a lot of facility out here. Between 18 and 20 would probably work for me. I would think that it need to take her to at least 16 or 17. She's done an exemplary job. And if you look at what other people are paying their deputy clerks, except for Exeter Township, who seems to be on the low end of the scale, she definitely deserves a raise.
How many hours a week does she work?
Anita?
Usually between 15 to 20 hours a week.
What was your were breaking up, Kim? What was the pay raise gonna be to Anita?
At least 16, 17 would be nice, but if you wanted to split the difference at 16.50, we could do that too. But at least 16.
Make a motion to give Anita a raise at $17 an hour and make a motion to put Ron at $18 an hour.
I want to sort of discuss that a little bit. If there is if Ron or Anita decides to leave, it's in the minutes that it goes back down to $15 an hour.
That's what the sliding scale from Bondi is supposed to be. That's what that's going to cover.
But make sure that's in this motion until.
Oh yeah,
it's
that's
approved.
fine, but it's going to be, we'll have to revisit that resolution with the sliding scales at a different time, but yeah, I'll make sure that that's in the minutes.
And making that motion to go back to December 14th when we originally talked about this.
I make it retroactive?
Yes, please.
Okay, Lisa, could you state your whole motion, please?
I want a retroactive back to December 14th. We originally talked about Anita getting a raise. I wanted to make that at 17 and Ron at 18 an hour.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, motion on the floor, motion by Treasurer Moore, seconded by
Clerk Sharp.
Clerk Sharp. Mr. Youngblood is $18 an hour. Anita is at $17 an hour, and it's retro back to December. And future hires will be back down to 15. Correct?
Correct.
This may sound crazy for me. I appreciate the thought of retroactive, but I got a class coming up that I already paid for and asked for reimbursement. Reimburse the class, don't worry about the retroactive pay, and I'm happy camper. Board can do what the board wants, but not to say I'd be happier with it, but I'm fine with getting the class paid for. It's an important class for zoning administration with the Michigan State University, and that money can go right towards that reimbursement.
That class was like 300, right, Ron?
$395.
Yeah, I don't have it with me. It's not in my packet. It's probably sitting on my desk.
Lisa, do you want to amend your motion then, or leave it as is?
I'm gonna leave it as is.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Supervisor Penny Turner.
Yes.
Trustee Mike Pinkowski.
Yes.
Trustee Daryl Nichols.
Yes.
Clerk Sharp, that would be me. I'm voting yes. And Treasurer Lisa Moore.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next is the roof. You should have in your packets the engineered spec bid that needs to go out for the replacement of the roof. It's pretty much self-explanatory. They want to get the bids out or get it sent out so that we can get bids hopefully by the first part of February before our next meeting. And they're going to be sealed bids. And then we can make a decision. The way it's sounding, they can start probably April on getting the roof fixed or redone. But in the meantime, as all of you are aware, we had a really bad leak. So we're going to have to do a repair on the roof until we can get this roof replaced. So I requested an estimate from Orowski, who is familiar with the roof and has patched it before. To meet board approval, the estimate is anywhere from 500 to 800 once he gets up there to see what's going on. So I need, I guess, a double. I need, first off, approval to get the roof fixed at a cost between $500 and $1,800, or excuse me, $500 and $800. We'll start with that first.
I'll
So
make
you're
that
making,
motion.
you're making the motion?
No, I'm asking for one.
Okay,
I'm making a motion
okay.
that we employ Morosky to patch the hole that's in the roof until we can get a bid and for the whole roofing system.
Now I do have a question. We did have the 3 bids already. Do you want new bids to come in?
They've been, Anita, they've been notified by the engineer.
Okay,
So yes, they will have the opportunity to rebid.
okay.
And I'll second the motion that for Daryl.
Moved by Nichols, seconded by Sharp to approve Morocco's bid for repair of the roof at a cost between $500 and $800, and also to go ahead and put out the documents for the bidding process to replace the roof.
I'm running out of spaces to write here. Looking for my pad of paper, sorry. Seems to have disappeared. Okay. Treasurer Lisa Moore,
Yes.
Supervisor Penny Turner,
Yes.
Trustee Daryl Nichols,
Yes.
Trustee Mike Pinkowski,
Yes.
and Clerk Sharp, that's me. Yes, motion carried. So the last one is the water grant.
Yeah, number 5, water grant. I was asked to put this on the agenda for discussion. Reference to applying for the grant. It is no cost to us. Not charging to the grant. So I guess it's open for discussion.
So the grant hasn't, we haven't seen the written grant yet?
It's going to be filled out by Mannix Smith for us.
Oh, I got you. So during this time, during a pandemic, and especially what's going on with the current state of our country's at, and not having a hard copy of what our actual grant is written as to approve to apply for it, nor do we have any insight on who wants the city water? I make a motion to table this until we have a grant to come forward with the writing, because in the grant approval deadlines are January 31st, April 30th, July 31st, and October 30th. So we still have time to apply
I
for
don't
these
agree.
grants and move forward. So until we get any insight of, do citizens really want city water, and the grant approval or grant, how it's going to be written, I make a motion to table it.
I'll second it.
Moved by Pinkowski, seconded by Moore to table until we get a copy of the grant application, Mike?
Grant application, how it's going to be presented for the grant, and also knowledge that there's enough people willing to that want city water.
And what's your reasoning behind this? If there's no harm, no foul, if you get the grant, fine. If you don't get the grant, fine. If you
Holding up
don't use any
money,
of the
holding up,
money, if you don't use any of the money, then it's no big deal. You just send it right back.
holding up money that actually needs it somewhere else to the state.
Considering some of the people's water in the township, I think applying for the grant would be a good idea. It's no
Motion's
harm,
on-
no foul.
Motion's on
The district
motion.
isn't even defined yet, so we're not really applying for something that we can use until it's defined. She's still out there getting the preliminary or petitions to find out who would like water, so she can find out where to put the lines on the map to create the water district for the water committee. So I
That's
think
fine.
not applying for the grant is stupid, but that's
Nope.
my personal opinion.
That is fine. We still have time because we have April 30th, July 31st, and October 31st to apply for grants.
I don't
So
agree.
let's get some, let's get this grant in writing so we can look at it, and also let's see how much the residents really want it. We have the PER out there. Barb's doing her job of trying to get the water brought in for the community. So let's see who really wants it.
Okay, Mike, I have a question for you. Where are you finding these dates at?
What was that, Penny?
Where do you find the dates at for this grant applications?
It's online.
It's on the water stuff?
Yeah, no, I'll send an email out to the board exactly where it's at.
Representative Bellino has his hand up, Kim.
Yes, thanks for letting me speak up here. Mike, you make a lot of good points there. My question is, though, if you're not going to apply for the grant now, you're not going to get it. And me talking with some state people today, there's hundreds of applications already. And if you think your water's fine out there and nobody needs it, no matter where the district may be, it may be real small, you may get the grant, and most people say, I don't want it, and the money is going to go to somebody else anyway. But if you don't apply for it now, you're not going to get it.
Well, we don't have true studies on it's actually the PFAS, okay? And that's going to be off of deep wells. So the water that we're bringing in, Monroe County already has it, so it's a hauled water. So technically, we should actually see go for the deep wells and have that all checked out to see actually where it is, because there's two kinds of things. You got a deep well in our community that you can have drilled. Secondly, you're going to have hauled water that's a permit through the county. Also, people have a shallow well, also known as a point well, that is illegal. Okay, other than the use of gray water, this community has been around for a long time, so a lot of people have them. But moving forward with that, so realistically, we're bringing in the water. So by saying unsafe water, I don't have a study that shows anything off of any of the deep wells for residents. Okay, that would be technically the only ones that would actually be for PFAS, for unsafe water, as you call it. It may not be pleasant water, but until I have any proof to move forward, would love to see city water come in, But we have to see also the, how many people really want it in this district. And for applying for a grant that we don't know what the grant is written as, nor if people really want it, because we don't have nothing to show for it. So why move forward until we actually see what's going? Motion's on the floor, by the way. And it was
You can
seconded.
vote on it if you would like.
Okay, so it was motioned by Pinkowski, seconded by
Table it.
Moore to table until we get a copy of the grant application
Grant application
and
showing that we have very vast interest in bringing in city water. Because we have none of that right now.
Are we ready?
yeah,
Trustee Mike Pinkowski,
Yes.
trustee Penny Turner,
no,
clerk Sharp, no. Treasurer Lisa Moore,
Yes.
trustee Daryl Nichols,
He's mute.
I can't
Carol,
hear
you're
him.
mute. You're muted.
The motion is to table this until we get what?
A copy of the grant and proof that there's interest, that there's enough interest in the township for people who want water.
Well, these are my thoughts. When you're elected as a public official, you take your hat off and you represent everybody in the township.
Mhm.
If this isn't gonna cost us anything, and if we can get out of this at any time, and from what Representative Bellino just got done explaining, that we may not get another shot at this, my answer would be no.
Motion fails.
I agree with you, Daryl. I mean, I ran on no water at the current cost. But if we
This
can
could
get,
offset that cost.
right, at the cost that it was at the time. And I mean, I don't want to put a burden on anybody, but if we
I'm
can,
not gonna put a burden on anybody.
Oh, no.
That's a fact. I will not put a burden on anybody, and I don't want to see anybody lose anything. But I'm not gonna besmirch somebody of getting water if the district is 10 houses and all 10 houses want that water. If that doesn't affect anybody else in the township, why wouldn't you allow those 10 people to get that water, or 20 people? If everybody in the district wants it, why would you do that? It doesn't cost the township a penny. Nothing.
To fill
Why
out
would
the
you do
grant.
that? What's that?
It doesn't cost us anything to have the grant filled out and submitted.
Exactly. And we can get out of it anytime we want. I don't see how you're representing the citizens of the township if you don't do your due diligence and do your homework to find out all the information that's available to you on a certain subject.
Okay, so.
Those are my
wh-
thoughts.
Where's the special assessment? We have a PER.
That's
So-
not, that's only an engineering review, which is needed for the grant. So you've made the motion to table it, that fails. I want to make a motion to have them fill out the grant and see what happens, because we are under no obligation.
And it's not costing us anything, correct?
Yes.
yes, I had a meeting with Manic. They're not charging us anything to fill out this application and send it in. And they're here if you have any questions for them. And I agree with Daryl 100%. I understand what the PA 188 is. I had some confusion about it. I did my research. We still have these signatures. So if down the road, the special district gets formed, you have your no signatures that you can at that time use them to make.
If they are in the district,
Right, use them, that's in that district that we develop to make them get their
to hear their
50% or
voice.
51%, whatever the board wants to set it at.
Like, Ray, to be
But
clear.
there again, I ran on affordable water. I'm not gonna make a burden on anybody. So we have a
Mannix-
motion.
Manic Smith was supposed to be online with us. If people have questions, they can ask them for them directly. Yes, no? Otherwise, the motion on the floor is to complete and have them complete the application and send it in.
I'll
There was a
second
question
that.
about how much the grant is. We have no idea how much we're gonna get on the grant.
It all depends on them.
Yeah. Trying to see if there's any other questions.
I've got the chat open myself too.
And yes, it is being filled out by Manick and Smith at no charge.
Mark Brandt says it's up to 5 million.
The grant.
Yes.
Okay, moved by Sharp. I will
Any-
second it. To apply for the grant at no charge to the township. Is that your motion, Kim, or you want to add anything
Yeah,
further?
to complete the grant application at no charge to the township and to send it in.
And the thing is, we may not even get approved for that grant.
Nope.
This all may be a moot point.
Mhm.
But as elected officials, I'm pretty sure each one of us ran on doing our due diligence and making sure that everything was covered and representing the township as a whole, not as a part, as a whole. So
I have a
those are
question
my
here
thoughts.
on the grant. When it comes to this money, where's that money going to be sitting at? Who's going to be responsible of it?
Well, it probably will have to sit in an account by itself if it is even issued to us. And that the money would be earmarked only for the water, development of the water district. It wouldn't be touched until then.
Apparently, I got a comment here from Mr. Brandt. The state holds it until it's needed.
That works for me.
All right.
And if it's not used, you just.
It just goes back.
Yeah, it goes back. So I mean, I know, I understand the people that don't want water. I understand where you're coming from, but we're a long way out before we get water. So I mean, why not do something to try to get the cost down?
Yes.
Okay.
So
we have a
roll
motion
call
on the
vote.
floor. Yes.
Trustee Mike Pinkowski. I can't hear anything. Did you say anything yet?
Mike, you there?
Yes,
What's
So
your
your vote-
vote?
no, I'm here, but no,
Okay.
I can hear you.
Trustee Penny Turner.
Yes.
Treasurer Lisa Moore.
I'll change my mind. I'll say yes to it.
Clerk Sharp, that would be me. And Trustee Daryl Nichols.
Yes.
All right, I got a comment here. Apparently, we need the motion to say that we apply for the grant or request the city of Monroe or the county to apply as required by Eagle. So if something happens that we aren't eligible, then
So motion to what? It should say what?
I need the motion to say that we will apply for the grant or request the city of Monroe or the county to apply as required by Eagle. So let's make the motion, Kim, and you tell me if this is okay. Make a motion to complete at no charge to the township, the grant application. And if need be, the grant or request the city of Monroe or county to apply as required by Eagle. Does that sound good?
That works for me.
Does everybody understand the motion?
Yes.
Stop.
I believe Eagle is what DNR used to be. Somebody's asking what Eagle is. I believe it's,
Do we want to vote on this again? Or leave it the way it is, because we've already voted once on this kind of motion.
yeah, it's just a technicality, I think, unless you want to, it doesn't matter to me.
It doesn't, well, I think we've already voted on it, so
Yeah.
I'll just put the extra wordage in there.
Okay.
Are you amending that motion?
We could be, I don't know, I'm not amending it. We're wanting to have it completed and sent the grant application in. Penny Turner said that it has to be a request, the city of Monroe or county as required by EGO to complete the application and send it.
So you amended your motion?
Yeah, it is amendment then, because we did change your original motion.
Okay,
So we should probably,
let me cross some stuff out. Hold on. We can vote on it again. Okay, I am still voting yes. Supervisor Penny Turner,
yes.
trustee Mike Pankowski,
No,
treasurer Lisa Moore,
Yes.
and trustee Daryl Nichols.
Yes.
Okay. This is all 5. All right.
Okay, next order of business, under new business, building keys.
I'm not sure what that is.
I brought that on the table. I just wanted, I think that it should be good practice when people change office that all the keys get changed out.
We just had the entire building rekeyed. We haven't had any issues since the keys were all turned in. And when every key was turned in, we counted each one that was issued to them and made sure we got it back. And they have all the keys, they do not copy, so they can't be copied without a letter from the township.
Oh, I can copy a key, no worries. But I just think that the key should be changed regardless of when new elected officials take office. Should
Now
be
you're
good it should be good practice that even though it says
I agree 100%
duplicate.
with you, Mike.
Now you guys talking just outside door keys, not? the
yeah,
whole-
just outside door keys.
Yep. I agree 100% with you, Mike. Those keys need to be changed.
Every time. I mean, it should just be
Every
an
time.
I mean, and as crazy as it sounds, if someone resigns or gets recalled, hope that nobody does. In anytime, it's a horrible expense on our community. But anytime that there's an elected official that has keys
Access.
to the building, or even maintenance person, access to the doors on the outside need to be changed. It's an expense to the safety of our residents.
That's a
Luckily,
fact.
that's only a couple of keys.
Great.
Do you have any idea on cost, Kim, that would cost? to do
No,
it?
I could call and find out how much it'll be cost to rekey the one, key number 1, and I'm trying to remember which key it is for the back doors. But that should be the only 2 keys that need it. The ones to the back door where we go into the boardroom, those 2 are the same keys, and the front door, key number 1 is the one that controls the outside in the front of the office. So those should be the only 2 that need it. Shut up.
Yeah, I know we have cameras in the hall now too, so.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference, because even if they walked into the building, we could find out who walked in that wasn't supposed to be there, since we have cameras.
Can you look into what the cost would be for rekeying the outer locks?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, I make a motion to table that.
I'll second
Second,
Motion by Pinkowski, seconded by Sharp to table till next month for cost.
Do you want a roll call vote for that one?
No, I think we're good on that one.
No.
Okay.
Okay, next is the Milan Area Fire Department report. Mike and I attended the fire board meeting last month, and we were made aware that they are trying to get a new fire station from the city of Milan. And I know this board and myself, and I know Kim, you weren't aware of anything either because it was never brought to our board. So Karen, if you would just give a quick overview of what's going on, what you're requesting.
Karen.
Hi, Penny, thanks.
Oh, there she is.
Nope, hi. Actually, I'm going to turn this right on over first to the man in charge, which is Chief Stevens.
Okay.
If you want to kick off and kind of give us a starting point here.
Okay, thanks Supervisor Turner and the Township Board for having us tonight. We're here to explain a few things about the possibility and options of a new fire station for Milan. I want to give you a brief history. The building was originally constructed in the 40s, the building we're in now, and it was used several different businesses. As time passed, it underwent changes to house different businesses, including gas stations, before it became the home of Schultz Motor Sales. In June of 1979, the city of Milan approved the purchase of the property at 45 Wabash to be renovated to a new station for the Milan Area Fire Department. After renovations, the building included an addition of 4,000 square foot apparatus bay, and then the station was dedicated on June 28th of 1981 and went into service. At the time the station was designed, it was a state-of-the-art building that incorporated all the modern features of the time that were necessary to move the department into the future. In the 40 years the station has been in service, the department has grown and progressed to the point more room is needed for modern apparatus and equipment. OSHA and NFPA requirements for firefighter safety have also changed that would make upgrades to the current station not possible or feasible due to the lack of space in the building. The location of the current fire station, when built, was a great location to access the entire response area. But as time passed, with increased population and more vehicle and railroad traffic, it's become more difficult to respond safely and efficiently from this location. The proposed location and construction of a new station on Arcona Road would solve most of these issues. Our entire response area would have unobstructed access that would end delayed response from blocked railroad crossings, and which they often require rerouting up our apparatus to get to the dispatched address. So that's just a brief overview. Now I'd like to turn it over to Sarah Finch.
Thanks, Chief. Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah Finch. I'm the financial secretary for the Milan Area Fire Department. Again, I'm just going to give a little overview of how the department works. We're an area department with 4 participating municipalities, London Township obviously being one. The others are York Township, Milan Township, and the City of Milan. Each of the 4 municipalities has a different percentage of ownership, and that's based on different things like your total taxable value, your total land acreage, your population, total road miles, and the different types of dwellings that you have within your municipality. And those are reevaluated every year. Obviously, things fluctuate a little bit each year based on those numbers. Because of the way we are set up, the department is formed under 2 different public acts that actually limits our capabilities for taking out debt, which is why we've been working very closely with with Karen Kovacs at the city of Milan. And the fire board's been having some great discussion about the best way to get this project done efficiently and most responsible use of tax dollars. So I think Karen, do you want to chime in here as well? Sorry, Karen Kovacs is the city administrator for the city of Milan. And like I said, she's been working pretty closely with Chief Stevens and I to see how we can make this happen.
Thanks, Sarah, and thanks, Chief, and thank you for inviting us here. So a little bit more to add on to that, the property that the fire department is looking at is actually within the city limits. It's actually part of a 425 agreement with York Township that expires about 17 years, and the property will remain with the city at that time. Obviously, York Township is aware of this because they are included in these discussions as part of the Milan Area Fire Department. So we started this discussion when the talks initially started about a new fire station, and working closely with Sarah, it was determined that, as she mentioned, the fire department is not able to take out debt just based off of the way that the department is formed under those two very specific different public acts. So the best possibility is for one of the municipalities to finance the project or fund the project and do what we are currently doing right now, which is lease the space out to the fire department. Now, as it was mentioned, the building they're currently in, they are growing it. It is in need of some upgrades and repairs. That would be very costly to upgrade the current building and maintain it and fix it up at this point. So it would be more financially responsible and fiscally savvy to really look at exploring a new and upgraded fire station somewhere else. For the many reasons that Chief had mentioned, the location is really actually really a good selling point at this time. So what that means is the city would look at financing it through various financing mechanisms. Municipalities have different ways of obtaining debt versus a regular business or anybody else. So we would be utilizing that and taking on that debt and that financial obligation. So what that would mean, though, is in turn we would be looking for a commitment or some sort of a firm commitment or promise from the participating municipalities to continue staying with us. And that can be done in the form of an agreement or a lease agreement of some sort. So again, this is very much in the early phases. We wanted to provide an update of what that would look like and answer any questions and kind of see the general feel and an opinion of all of you. So is there any specific questions? Penny, I know we've been talking about this and since you've been on board. So
yeah, and just so the board knows, I'm trying to get the numbers of our last budget or our current budget to see how much money we've taken in and how much we have spent out for the fire department. Because I'm not real sure if the 2 mills was for this, if they knew this was coming. So they went for the 2 mills. I'm not sure. So I'm trying to find out that just to get a feel on how we are money wise. And like I told you, Karen and Kim or Sarah, money's tight for us. I mean, I'm not going to be honest. It's tight. We fought to get the 2 mills that we have. So does the board have any comments, any questions?
Well, I guess it's no different than the water, Penny. I mean, you do your due diligence, you look at the numbers and you go from there. But without being able to see the numbers, it's hard to make a decision. Exactly why we move to approve to move that forward so we can get a look at the numbers. And
yeah, and I'm not asking for a decision tonight. I just wanted
no.
to
I understand. You know, when she asks for questions, it all comes down to what is the numbers, you know, what can we afford? You know, it's hard to tell until you see those.
And Karen, you have no idea yet on cost for us, correct?
Sarah, did you have any update or any information on that one?
As far as we have a very general number of the project cost as a whole. what that looks like for each of the participating municipalities, I can't say for sure. If the general consensus tonight, is that you all would like to see some firmer numbers, that gives Karen and I the ability to move forward and start looking into some real options as far as what a lease agreement might look like, to give you guys an idea, at least a ballpark figure, so you can start to make that determination if you're able. The project cost as a whole is obviously significant, but again, how it's going to affect each municipality is hard to say just yet.
How would you figure out how much it would cost per municipality? Is it based on usage?
I think at this stage, I would probably calculate it based on your percentage of ownership. Currently, London Township's percentage is 14.11%. And the rest of them, just so you know, York Township is 29.66%. Milan Township is 18.4%, and the city of Milan is 37.83%.
So how much it would cost each municipality would be so much what it is right now. They are paying a lease payment to the city, and that is included in the general expenses of the fire department. And the expenses are divvied out to all the municipalities based on those percentages. So we would assume if we continue forward like this, it would assume it would be your percentage of that would be included as an expense. So the debt that the city would be taking on, the debt payments would be contributed or would be factored into the lease payments that the fire department would pay the city, and that would then be turned and divvied out to all of the municipalities based off of those, the operating, I think it was the operating contributions.
Okay.
Which are done quarterly.
Yes, that's correct. Operating contributions are billed quarterly.
Now, is this something that the city's going to put out for a vote for the residents, or?
So I think that the next step would then be with the fire board, and the fire board would make the motion to have the city explore that financing or go forward with financing that. And the agreement is what would come back to all the participating municipalities. And that's, we understand, obviously affects your budget, and you need to know as soon as possible. I think that the intent is to remain open and have these conversations and present as many updates as you need, and also assist in that education piece if it ever has to go out for a millage. I think that in your village that you passed, I think just 2 years ago, you nearly passed that. I think that this is a joint effort for us and all the municipalities that participate. I don't want to speak for the fire department, but to help with that education piece and to answer the questions and make ourselves available. So you're not in it alone and you don't feel like you're in the dark.
Do you have any rough numbers available, or is it just still too new where you haven't even delved into the weeds on that yet?
We do have, I do want to call it a very rough number, but yes, a preliminary project cost is between 6.5 and 7 million. That includes the new station, the land, the engineering. It is an all-inclusive estimate, absolutely.
Okay.
And my next question is, what happens if we cannot afford this?
So that would be something that I can't speak for your board. I do know that you are another part of your township is serviced by another fire department. That is something that your board would have to explore. But again, you're going to be paying for their fire service as well. So I can't help you on that one.
Yeah,
but Penny, I think that this conversation that I would love to have with you or Sarah, include Sarah on this, and helping you determine some funding opportunities and ways to be able to afford this. There's, this is a critical service for your area, and I think that we have one of the best fire departments around, and I really would like to be able to help you figure out how to afford that.
Yeah, I'll get back with you once I get the numbers crunched and see where we're at, what we're doing. And I'll let the board know also what I find out on these numbers. And I'll get back with you and let the board know and let you know. But I just wanted to get the board familiar with what's going on so that you have an insight Any further questions for anybody? Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Okay, number 3, building department. I've been keeping the board informed on what's going on with the building department. We've had some issues. One of them being the building inspector was not happy, saying that one of our employees didn't have a mask on. She come in the building, but then she sat down and she, according to the health department, does not have to have a mask. He turned us into the health department and the state, saying we were violating the COVID order. So I answered both the state and the health department, and we were fine. We are not in any violations. So I just wanted to make the board aware of that. And secondly, we've been having issues with a permit issue. They are saying that if you buy a home to fix up, you have to live in it. You cannot buy a home to fix up to sell to somebody else. So I went to the state and got 2 opinions from state building inspectors. I also got opinion from our township attorney, and I also got opinion from the state attorney in the building inspection area. And they are agreeing with me, saying that they have no right to hold up these permits because you have a PR on your other, or PRE on your other home. That was their main thing, is if you have a PRE on your current home, you cannot get a permit as a homeowner to fix up a home. So after all this back and forth and figuring out, with the who says that we are right and he's still saying they're right, I spoke with him today. His stance is, after I asked him, will he issue these permits? His stance is still no. They are not going to issue the permits. And his response was, if we're not happy with their services, they are okay if we terminate. So I just want to get some comments and from the board and answer any questions you may have.
Do we have another building inspector in place that would take their spot?
Not at this time. I haven't searched that avenue. The state said they would help us out until we found one. I know we've got several complaints that are going to the state level. I just got one today from the state, so we have to do a hearing because she's contesting the building official's finding. So that's going to have to be, we're going to have to decide on a hearing and appoint a board to do that. It's got to be a 5-member board according to CES. And I think there's a couple more that are coming down the line from the state because of denials.
Well, it doesn't.
I'm sorry.
It doesn't sound like they want to be here.
Nope.
Yeah, to me too.
I mean, if the individual, whoever made that statement, said that, if you want to terminate the contract, that's all right with me. Well, I mean, to me, if you're throwing down a gauntlet and saying, hey, if you don't like it, fire us, that doesn't sound very appealing to me, especially since the township signs their check.
See, my thing is, and I
work
tried
for
telling
us.
them, yeah, exactly. And I tried telling them that, I've got opinions from the state, and they're still saying the state's wrong, that they've been doing it this way for 30 some years. And like I told them, that doesn't mean it's right.
No.
Interpretations on everything. So
let me get this right. You've got an opinion from our township attorney. You've got an opinion from the state of Michigan, and both of those opinions are contrary to what the building inspector or that firm is telling us, and they are willing to do. They said, even after you presented them with the information, they said they're still not going to issue permits.
Correct. They are not going to issue permits to
Fix or flip.
homeowners that have a PRE on their home now and want to buy a home, say at a tax sale, fix it and sell it. To me, it's bringing tax base to our township. It's making our township look better. If these people want to do that, they're saying they have to have licensed contractors fix these homes because they have a PRE on their original home. But according to the state, they have no authority to enforce the occupational code. And that's what they're still saying that they're going to enforce. They're saying that now that they will issue the permit if the person signs a statement saying that they are going to live in that home once they finish it. And so my stance was, so then anybody can come in here and say, okay, I'm going to live in this home and then turn around and sell it. And he said, well, if that's the case, then they will prosecute for falsifying a document.
And this is after the state and our township attorney said that is wrong.
Correct. I got 2 opinions from 2 state building officials. I got an opinion from a state attorney that's in the building official department. And I got an opinion from our township attorney. So I've done my due diligence on finding out who's right and who's wrong. And so we're at a stalemate. They're saying that we're wrong. The state's saying we're right.
Well, we could ask them not to let the door hit their ass on the way out.
If we,
You know what? I'd be good with that.
if we get rid of them, how long would it take for the residents to get a permit from the state if we actually have the state come in and help us until we find someone?
We have a 90-day
Their
clause.
permits up?
They have to stay 90 days. If we terminate this contract, they still have to stay 90 days. We have a 90-day clause. So
If
that
what
may
if
give
there's
us-
nothing's getting done?
well, then I guess we can hold their check if they don't do their job. Don't pay them.
Agreed.
What are they, can you tell me, I mean, I'm looking at the financial right now.
We pay them
Steve.
$2,666.
$2,066, yeah.
$2,066?
$2,666.
And he's here 4 hours on Monday and 4 hours on Friday.
So 8 hours a week is what he works?
Yes, but that also
It-
covers them paying the inspectors, like the bills from the inspectors. They take care of paying all that. But I believe,
What's the permits cover then?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So all they're doing
that's-
is billing process.
So I'm just trying to do, some math here at 8 hours per week. It seems like pretty decent money. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. I mean, and if we do decide to go that route, we've got 90 days to try to find, you need a building inspector and official. It can be one and the same as long as they have the credentials.
I should we get rid of them?
Is Lisa making a motion to get rid of them?
Yep, that's what I'm gonna do, Daryl.
All right.
All right, Lisa, what's your motion?
My motion is to get rid of them.
Find a different building department or building inspector.
We want a different building inspector, yes,
And official.
and official,
So your motion is to terminate the contract with CES
yes.
and.
Well, that's what they're called, CES? I just thought
Yeah.
they
Yeah, CES, and start looking for a new building official and inspector. Do you guys want to put that out for bids? Or do you want to just advertise with MTA? What's your
Should we
pleasure?
advertise until we can interview people?
Okay. Motion's on the floor to terminate the contract with CES and start looking for a new building inspector official. Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved by Moore, seconded by Nichols.
So does that date start officially from if this roll call passes today? So 90 days from today or when notified?
When notified, let's make it Thursday so that I can get a letter to them and do it officially, on their letterhead and tell them that we're, going to terminate the contract. I'll call them too, but
Okay.
I'd like to do it officially on letterhead.
Okay.
Thank God. Oh, Sorry.
That was your out loud voice.
Okay, Kim,
All
you ready
right.
for the?
Yeah. Roll call vote. Supervisor Penny Turner.
Yes.
Trustee Mike Pankowski.
Yes.
Treasurer Lisa Moore.
Yes.
Trustee Daryl Nichols.
Yes.
And Clerk Sharp, I'll say yes. Motion carried.
Okay, I'll start, get a hold of MTA and see if they can help us out with putting it out and looking for a new building. And if anybody knows anybody out there that's got their credentials, send them my way. Next on the agenda, ZA classes.
I'm assuming Ron wanted to talk about that. Zeke, I would like to reimburse him for the class that he took already, which was $395.
I haven't taken it already. It's set to start February 1st.
Oh, okay. I thought you had taken it already.
Well, I took one in November that I paid, but I didn't expect or ask for reimbursement. That was $200. I just want this one reimbursed.
Okay, so I guess the motion would be to reimburse Ron or pay for his class for $395 that starts February 1st. Yes? February 1st?
What's this class contain, Ron?
Well, it's a zoning administration certificate from the Michigan State University's extension site. A lot of those classes through MTA or Michigan State cover pretty much the history of zoning, the basis of zoning, different aspects of zoning and elements, a lot of stuff I've studied independently on my own. Certificate not only carries a lot of weight, these classes provide a very good format with updates to state laws, updates to how zoning can be done. It's a huge asset with the amount of knowledge that you gain from these classes. This one's a little more intensive and you have to pass a test at the end, but then you have the certificate of zoning administrator from Michigan State University. It covers everything from enforcements, land uses, hot topics, marijuana, solar, you name it, everything it covers, and even more in depth than I can get in 20 hours a week on the job in an independent study. It's also the second course. I took the Citizen Master Planner. I think it was in November. I believe I sent you all emails when I completed that class for the Citizen Planner. Sorry. That's the first one. Zoning Administration is the second. And the third one is the Master Citizen Planner. Then after that, I plan on trying to find me a 4-year and go even further. But that's, I like the job. I love what I do and I want more knowledge. It makes me better. And better for me is better for your community. I can't say enough about the education provided from MTA or Michigan State University, and I hope eventually that the board makes it mandatory for everybody that holding any type of elected or appointed position has to take mandatory classes.
Yeah, I know the ZA has got a mandatory class they have to attend. I'd like to also get our planning commissioners and CBA board into some type of training too, just to familiarize them with their jobs.
Yeah, because you're essentially enforcing it's law. Our ordinance violations provide a misdemeanor penalty because they're laws, or civil infraction because it's law. They have no experience on law, reading law books, understanding these laws, how they are enforced, the implication of, or the lack thereof. A lot of people just apply. Now, granted, I just applied and got it with zero experience, but happen to be passionate about it in the long run. Your planning commissioners can be on there, 3 years, I believe, is an appointment, or a year? 2 years? Three? And you got guys coming out of all walks of life, but what do they have in regards to laws and zoning? Now, some other elements and aspects, like I know Daryl Nichols is on a lot of boards, Dan Cable, Doug Darling, these guys have a lot of history and experience on those, but what about the friends that get appointed that have zero experience or not much history? Those are important decisions on the Planning Commission and the ZBA and the board that you should bring a little bit more to the table. And I just happen to want and desire to pursue more. So I hope that's honored with reimbursement of that class. And yeah, I can't say enough again about MTA and the education that they and the Michigan State University provides for us to effectively do and grow in our jobs.
Now, you have already paid for that class?
I did. I had it. I was trying to get it on the last agenda. It had a December 14th deadline to be paid. It didn't make it. I think we did talk about that, Kim. So I paid. And then I asked for reimbursement.
What was the total?
$395.
That's total after taxes.
Total after taxes, and if I made the mistake and it's more after taxes, so be it. But I know I sent Kim the invoice and the proof that I paid it and when it starts and all that other stuff.
Yeah, I have it. I just didn't get it printed. It's sitting in my in basket on my desk at the Township Hall. I didn't grab it.
Okay, so there's a motion on the floor to pay $395 for a class that Ron's attending starting February 1st. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Moved by Sharp, seconded by Moore.
I'm getting ready for the roll call. Hold on. Trustee Michael Pankowski,
Yes.
trustee Daryl Nichols,
Yes.
treasurer Lisa Moore,
Yes.
supervisor Penny Turner,
Yes.
and myself, clerk Sharp. Yes, that carried.
Okay, item number 5, SP 20-01.
This is that pond you talked about earlier, Ron, right?
Correct.
The one that the guy started digging it, but he didn't have a permit initially? Is
Yeah,
that
he
this
didn't have
one?
any approval. Yeah, no
Okay.
approval. He dug it.
And the planning commission approved that, correct, Daryl?
That's correct.
With no stipulations?
I don't believe there was any stipulations. He said that it took 7 hours to dig. They turned in their paperwork. Kabisky held on to it for 5 weeks. They turned that paperwork back in August is when they turned that in. So they turned it in. They tried to get the stuff done. It just drug out. And the individual, Mr. Scheich, told the planning commission that he said, you know what? I had to make a command decision. He's building a house. He's using the dirt from the pond for backfill for his house. So there's nothing leaving the site. And correct me if I'm wrong, Ron, but I mean, that's what we were told. And I know Ron's been out there several times and, Ron asked him to provide this and that. And I don't know if they weren't familiar or thought they did, but the planning commission did approve that.
Everything looked good out there, Ron?
Yeah, it is built to spec. He's got to move the dirt. I think it's exactly 100 by 100 in a couple spots, maybe 101 by 101. And then he agreed with me that he would drain it to check the depth. But I think the planning commission said as long as we can get out there to check the depth accurately and that the slope is 1 to 4 to a depth of 8 feet, which is 32 foot out slope, and then it can go down, then it was fine. But the setbacks are fine. No nonconformities or violations there. More than almost 200 feet from the septic, 125 from the house that's being dug. I measured it from the hole that's there for the footings. His basement will come 6 feet out of the ground, and that was the reason for most of the dirt to be used for backfill. Some people think they're building a house.
Make motion to approve. I make a motion to approve site plan 20-01.
I second it. Motion by Pankowski, seconded by Turner to approve SP 20-01.
Treasurer Lisa Moore,
Yes.
trustee Mike Pankowski,
Yes.
trustee Daryl Nichols,
Yes.
supervisor Penny Turner,
Yes.
and clerk Sharp. Yes, motion carried.
Last item for business, number 6, Huntington and First Merchants Bank accounts.
Nine, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I need to cover the basis in our minutes because we were only added to the tax accounts at First Merchant, and there's like 4 other accounts that I don't have access to, or nobody at the township does. So I need it in the minutes to state as a motion that everybody agrees that we're put on, like you, me, and Renee are put on all of the accounts at First Merchant.
Who is
And
you, me, and Renee?
Kim, sorry.
Okay.
Kim, Lisa, and Renee all added to those accounts, and then Huntington also.
So your motion is to add Lisa or yourself, myself, Renee, to all of the accounts at Huntington and all of the accounts at First Merchants. And that needs for the minutes.
That is correct.
And what's the Huntington? It says Huntington on here. What's that?
To add all of the same people to the Huntington account.
All right.
Although, isn't Penny on the Huntington account? Lisa?
Did you sign that? Did she? I think she did. Did you sign the signature one on the Huntington one?
I believe so.
Okay, so then the motion has to be that, unless you want to put Penny on the First Merchants accounts too, then we would have 4 names for the First Merchants and Huntington. How do you want that?
Okay. Maybe there should be 2 motions then, you think? To make sure Kim, Penny, and I are all on the Huntington ones, and then you, Kim, Lisa, and Renee are all on the First Merchant ones.
Is there a reason why I have to be on First Merchant?
There's not a reason for you to be on the First Merchant. Huntington is fine, but not First Merchant.
Okay. Then leave it as far as I'm concerned.
All right. So what is the motion again on number 6? Are we going to do this as 2 or do it as 1?
I say we do it as 2 for Huntington, to put Kim, Lisa, and Penny on all the Huntington accounts, and then First Merchant to put on Kim, Lisa, and Renee. Because there's 4 other accounts they told me after the fact we got the tax accounts, but none of us have access to those accounts.
We have no idea what they are, correct?
Nobody,
I know
they won't tell me.
Okay.
So that's for the Huntington account, Penny, Kim, and Lisa on all accounts.
Yep.
And that was you're the first. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, you want a roll call vote for both of them at the same time, or do you want them as individuals?
We can do them both at the same time.
Okay, and then the second one would be for First Merchants. Add Lisa, Renee, and me. Yes?
Yes.
To the First Merchant accounts.
Yep, there's 4 other accounts there.
To all First Merchant
Yeah,
accounts.
to all accounts to cover our basis, please.
I'll
Okay.
second that one also. First motion is it was.
For Huntington?
Yeah, well, yeah, first one would be for Huntington, moved by Moore, seconded by Turner, to add Kim, Lisa, Penny on all Huntington accounts. Second motion, moved by, I'm sorry, Moore, and seconded by Turner, to put Kim, Lisa, and Renee on all First Merchants accounts.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, trustee Mike Pinkowski,
Yes.
treasurer Lisa Moore,
Yes.
supervisor Penny Turner,
Yes.
trustee Daryl Nichols,
Yes.
and clerk Sharp, that would be me, I'll vote yes. That one carried. Now, I don't know if you guys have been watching the chat. So I don't know if the board members have, there are questions here, so we can cover some of those in the citizens' time, but I just wanted to let you know that there were some questions there. Has
Okay.
everybody seen those? Because we're in second citizens' time.
Yes, I've been watching.
I was just wondering.
You get your medicine?
Anybody have any comments on second citizens time before?
I can't hear you. I've been waiting for you to come and give me the updates. But no.
Hey,
she
Pam,
needs
take your
pajamas and
medicine.
night-
Dan, can you mute your mic? Thank you.
I did her. I muted her.
Okay. All right. Anybody for citizens time?
Yeah, I have a question.
Go ahead, Ken.
So what happened to getting the majority of the township water at a reasonable cost? The majority of the township be over 50%, wouldn't it?
Well,
I don't understand the question.
I believe that was how all this got started, correct? With the PER?
And it may still, and it may still be the majority, depending on what the SAD district, develops.
But we don't have a district yet.
Since you guys keep playing around with the numbers, what would be a reasonable price for city water per parcel?
All right.
I guess that would be up to the citizens. What would be reasonable to me might not be reasonable to somebody else.
Well, aren't you guys the one approving it?
We're not approving anything right now. We're just having them look at a grant.
Price.
I'm sorry, you cut out, Bill.
Another question, why wouldn't you guys at least look at the grant? What if they lied on the grant and you guys don't even know? I mean, who would approve something without even looking at it or even see what it says? What if it says we have unsafe water? You guys going to be reliable? Is there any proof that we have unsafe water? Do you guys feel that it's okay for us to steal money from the state for unsafe water when we don't have any evidence of unsafe water?
Well,
Now,
my electrical box will attest to that we have corrosive water. So will a lot of my appliances in my house. So it may be safe, but I filter it and I still have corrosive issues.
Okay,
So
is that in the grant?
how is it safe? The grant that we are going for has to do with water quality, PFAS. That's kind of a thing.
Yeah, exactly. And what
But
evidence?
Isn't part of it though for infrastructure too?
Yes, that is part of it is for infrastructure.
Well, I
And
would assume that it would be for the infrastructure of the unsafe water. I mean, I'm not that smart, but I mean, common sense would tell you if the grant is for unsafe water and it's talking about infrastructure, that the infrastructure is built for safe water.
You're breaking up really bad. I can't hear you.
We're
It's
also
either
in a
that or somebody's got some kind of background noise that is drowning you out.
Daryl, or Ken, can you repeat that? You were breaking up and there was background noise.
That's the problem.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
My biggest problem is with this, you guys are basically approving, no matter how you guys look at it, at least $1,500 to $2,000 in taxes. I mean, more than likely. And then if
We're
you
not
guys say,
approving anything.
okay, let's say, okay. And then like Daryl said, okay, what if 5 people want city water? Okay, I have no problem with that. But why? Where's the evidence? Why wouldn't you guys bring it to the table? Why wouldn't you guys make sure that somewhere even has a majority? I mean, for you guys just to file for a grant that you have no idea what they're putting on this grant is beyond me. And then you guys are worried about a fire millage, but you have no problem with taxing somebody up to $1,500 to $2,000 a month. I mean, you could call it a levy if you want.
A month?
I mean, ridiculous.
But we have, Daryl, you're jumping the gun. We have not even come close to anything on that yet. All we're doing is trying to get money to lower the cost. It doesn't mean that this water is going to go through. We have to research, we have to, and my thing is, I'm not going to put a burden on anybody. If there's 2 people in that district that does not want that water, then okay. At least we've done our due diligence to try to find ways to lower the cost.
I agree 100%, but why not look at the petitions? Why don't you see where you're standing? Why don't you see what if she only has 10%? So then you guys are creating all this problem, holding this money hostage that could go to somebody that might actually have lead in their water or dangerous water. I mean, to me, I can't even, I call it un-American doing this. I mean, I can't even believe that we would file for unsafe water when we have safe water. That'd be like me filing for a plumbing grant whenever I own a concrete business. I mean, this is ridiculous.
The grant is more than just unsafe water.
And it's
There's a
not
portion-
tied to developing the district.
Because you guys are hiding the district.
We have no district yet. There is no hiding of anything.
Okay, why would,
Conspiracy theories are wonderful things for television and TV movies. They don't belong here. There's no conspiracy. There's no hiding anything. If that's what you would like to believe,
okay, then where
then
is the
live in
grant?
a different reality. But there is no hiding anything.
Okay, where's the grant at? Where's the grant?
They haven't even filled out the paperwork.
That's right.
I'll tell you
Why
what
would
I'll do.
And it
Before
has-
they submit this grant, I will make sure that I see a copy of this grant, make sure all board members see the application for the grant before it is even sent in. If there's an issue, a problem, we'll take it up then.
Well, at least you did say that, because to me, it just sounded like you guys were sending in a grant, not knowing what was putting on it, what kind of false information that could be on it. And also, I don't understand how you guys could file for a grant without having a district. I mean, what number is going to be on the grant? You guys have to have a number, don't you?
No.
What's the project of the grant?
Mr. Hacker, can you,
They need the PER. Is Barb still here?
or I think, Aaron, or is anybody here from Manic?
Yeah, I'm here.
Can you answer some of his questions?
Sure. So the grant will be based on the PER, and the PER was developed to try to give the township an idea of a cost-efficient mechanism for expanding the city of Monroe's water main into the township of London Township. So the grant will be written in a way to try to garner as much of either the contamination aspect or also just the consolidation portion. There is a separate portion of consolidation that you're able to apply for separate from contamination. So the hope is that we're just going to try to apply with the PER, which was kind of a maximized effort, which was it wasn't necessarily a final district per se, I guess, for lack of a better word. I know we're throwing around the word district. Kind of, that's not really how the PER was written. The PER was written in phases, not districts. So the thought was one large project done over a phased time period, but one large project. And that was to try to benefit the residents of London Township as much as possible, so everyone could try to have an equitable stake in the improvements. So based on that, we're going to use the PER, and then from there, I've talked to Eagle, and they said that if there are changes or minor, or I guess any changes to the grant as far as the area and this and that and things like that, that they can be changed. Like Mr. Valino had said earlier, it is expected to have a large influx. I guess that's already been spoken to, but so the thought there is to try to maximize as much of the grant as we can, go after the cap, which is 5 million. And the hope is that we can bring down the cost to more people. So start high and then bring back down if we need to. But either way, the next step would be, if you get the grant, then to look at the funding aspect outside of what the grant is, because it's not going to fully fund everything as far as the PER is concerned, and see if residents were on board with that new cost. So we won't know that until we know exactly how much the grant is, because they might come in lower than what we request or something like that. So that would be why the PER can change. That would be why the district may change, because it's pretty much in flux, kind of. Not, we hope not, because obviously if we can do the whole thing and everyone's on board with it for a lower cost, that would be great. But so that kind of, hopefully I answered any the questions if you have any more.
So right now the PER, I believe, is around 18,300 or 18,275. What was the original cost? I know you guys had a rough number of the entire township, or the majority of it, correct?
There were some iterations. The problem is the more areas that are outliers you add, the higher the cost goes, because the farther away from the trunk main, it kind of gets into a lot of the weeds, I guess, nuances of water main installation. So the farther away from the trunk you get, the higher the linear footed cost is. So you can imagine somebody, if you build the trunk and then somebody way up here, far away where there's not a lot of residents, then
yeah, I do construction for a living, so I totally understand what you're.
Yeah, so it becomes less cost effective with a larger district.
Yeah, and that was actually going to get to my next question. So every action has an opposite and equal reaction. So the money that you're saving by cutting out the outer districts, you guys are saving on the inner districts, which will get a grant. What about the pro water people on the outer district? I understand the districts too, and I also understand the phases pretty well. So what ends up happening after this first district gets passed in the outer district? Because I actually haul water, and I know this very well because I haul water to every single township around here because of the same, and I do not like it, and it has nothing to do about me hauling water. I'll be honest, because this grant was for basically systems for everybody's house, deep well systems. I would agree 100% with this because it would benefit the entire township. Even if it would cut me out, it wouldn't bother me at all. But right now, what's happening is you guys are lowering the cost by bunching this, like you said, closer to the trunk. So that means at a later time, the outer one will never get city water, and I will always haul water to them at all times, or it's going to be so much money, it'll be out ridiculous. I mean, I see it every day. I mean, I understand the system pretty well. Is that correct? So what would be how much more will it cost per parcel for the outer district at a later date, roughly?
So there's a lot of iterations. I don't believe I'd even be able to come close to answering that without, looking back into any of the stuff that I did. And I don't even know if that would be reliable because it changed. I would say that taken out of context slightly is saying that, we try to keep it close to the trunk. That's not exactly what I said. I just said, as you go farther from the trunk, it becomes more costly. We had a cost per parcel that we were trying to hit, and we tried to maximize as many residents as we could at that point. Like I said, once we get the grant, if it appears that we can bring more people in that are interested, then we are going to hopefully look at that, and we'll try to do our best, the best that we can with what we end up getting. Hopefully, if we got the max amount, we would probably revisit exactly and move forward there and let the residents decide for themselves based on the 188 statute if they want to do that or not moving forward. So.
And then also,
Okay, guys, I hate to cut you off, but it's
go
been
ahead.
for 2 minutes.
Well, Barb's had her hand raised.
Okay, I just kind of wanted to follow up on that question because I think there's misunderstanding with regards to it costing more for people in later phases. Actually, it's the opposite. If you can use a grant to pay for the large sections of water main that need to be brought into the middle of the township from the existing water mains, and you can use grant money for that, then the water is already there. So as you continue in the future to move water to the west, for example, or to the north, the cost is less because those people are not forced to absorb the costs that were required to bring the water main over from Exeter. It's already been paid for with the grant.
Okay, I have a question for you, Barb. Can you tell me one township within a 20-mile radius that has city water everywhere?
What do you mean by everywhere?
At a later date, it should be a pretty simple.
Exeter has.
This is public comments. You have to address the board.
Actually, Exeter, Raisinville, and Dundee townships all have multiple water districts that were formed the same way that I'm trying to form them. And typically, they'll design one district, get it built, and then wait and keep applying for grants and try to design the next district. But they're initiated and developed by the residents who want water and get together and sign petitions and ask the board to get the costs and tell them, here's what I want. Here, you said you wanted water. Here's what it's going to cost you. Do you want us to proceed? And that's all done according to the law. And that's exactly the way we're doing it.
Okay, guys, we're gonna cut the water discussion off. If Daryl, if you want to get a hold of me, I'd be happy to try to answer any more questions that you have.
Thank
And
you.
I will look at the Barb and Manic, if you guys can make sure that you get the grant application to us so that I can get it to the board and we can look at it. Any other comments?
I have one.
Okay, go ahead. Is this, I can't see who you are. Let me find him. Can I ask who's that? Who's? Okay.
London.
Go ahead.
Townsend Road. I just wanted to let everyone know that the London Township Neighborhood Watch has set a date for a cleanup, and it will be April 24th from 12 to 2. And all the information is on the Neighborhood Watch site. It has been shared on the residents page as well.
Could you repeat the date again? You got cut off on the date. April
24th, I believe.
24th?
That's what I saw on Facebook.
Yep.
Okay.
From 12 to 2.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Sheena.
Anybody else? All right.
Hi, is it still open?
Yeah, go
It's
ahead.
Amanda.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, I don't have a raise your hand feature. I can't find it. I've been searching like this entire Zoom meeting and I can't find it. Just to back up with what Sheena said to confirm, it is April 24th.
Okay.
Also, Penny, you questioned about the 2 mills for the fire departments.
Yes.
The way that Gary did it, the way it was envisioned, I guess, between him when he spoke with the attorneys and things like that. If you look at how much we pay both LMR and Mylan, it comes up to, I think it's around like 170,000 or something like that, or maybe 180,000. It's somewhere right around that area. He did the 2 mills because if you remember, we had the rescue truck that we had to pay for before, and we had to take a loan out for it.
Right.
So he
That
did
was
the
for
2
LMR or
mills.
Mylan?
That was for LMR.
Okay.
But we had to take a loan out for, I think it was $40,000 to pay off our share of that rescue vehicle. So he did the 2 mills, that way the extra could be socked away for things like that. So the township wouldn't be burdened, or we wouldn't have to take out a loan.
Okay.
So that's the way that was.
Well, then it helps me a lot. That answers my question.
Well, I'm glad I could answer your
you.
question. A couple other things. The minutes. I looked for the minutes on the website and even on Facebook, and I was wondering why they weren't available to the residents.
Kim, can you answer that?
No, Anita's been posting them, so I'm assuming Anita's there, possibly. But I don't have an answer. But Anita?
But I thought I put them on all the pages. I could double check tomorrow, but I could have sworn I sent them to everybody. IT right to put on the website, and I thought I put them on Facebook, but I could double check it.
Well, I checked again right before the meeting and they weren't there. I just asked, that way I can review them before the meetings, that's all. Another thing is Trustee Pinkowski and Treasurer Moore were the ones who, Trustee Pinkowski made the motion, Treasurer Moore seconded, but everybody agreed to accept the minutes as presented. I'm wondering if you received the same minutes that I received, because just by looking at the first page, I noticed multiple mistakes. And looking through, there are multiple mistakes. I mean, things like where it says First Merit Bank instead of First Merchants Bank. I mean, these are things that this is record that's set in stone that shows the history of our township. And I think that Daryl Nicholas should be corrected. It should be Nichols. Things like that. I'm just, again, all of you, I'm wondering if anybody actually read the minutes or if they were just scanned. Because again, looking at the first page, there are 2 motions under approval of agenda. Why are there 2 motions? There shouldn't be. Another thing that I noticed within the
I'm
minutes.
not looking at the same minutes as you are then.
I'm not either.
Well, then I guess the minutes that were sent out to residents that requested the minutes were changed after that, because by law, once they are sent out as a draft to anybody, as if they're not a second pair of eyes just to read them over, if they are sent out as the draft, which I have printed out in front of me, then they cannot be changed by law. So I am very curious to see the minutes that you guys are looking at. Because if they were changed, that's another law that was broken.
I don't think they were changed. I think you just got the wrong copy after it had been corrected.
No, my point is you can't correct them after they're sent out as a draft.
My point is that she grabbed the wrong file and sent it to you. You have the wrong file. The other one was corrected long after that one. That's what I'm trying to say. She grabbed the wrong file. It wasn't corrected after she sent it. She just grabbed the wrong file.
And I only send them once to people.
Okay, if they were only sent once, then if you're looking at a different set of minutes than I am, then they were corrected after this draft was sent out.
She grabbed the wrong
the
file.
residents.
Okay, let me see if I can find it.
Okay, so moving on, I would just like, I would like to be able to see the minutes before the meeting. But moving on, I noticed also in the ZA's report, it's consistently said every month that all ponds and special uses are inspected. I'm wondering who is paying for those inspections, because the inspections are supposed to be paid for by the resident that, or the contractor that's doing the special use or whatever it may be. It's supposed to be paid by them. And in our zoning ordinance, there's only supposed to be 4 inspections a year.
I don't mean to cut you off, but it's been well over 2 minutes. If you want to get with Ron and he can answer those questions for you.
No, I don't want Ron to answer those questions because the board approves his pay. And
all right, send it to me. Send it to me and I'll get you your answers.
Okay, that's great. Oh, can I just say one more thing? I'm so sorry. I want to thank Daryl for speaking up, and standing for the residents. I really appreciate your comments, Daryl, during that. And I do appreciate Penny and Kim, you agreeing and following up with it as well.
You're
now
welcome.
I'm done.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, moving on, board comments. We'll start with Pinkowski. You got anything?
Nope, got nothing.
Lisa, you have anything?
No.
Kim?
Just a reminder that I'm looking for an alternate delegate for the River Raisin Watershed.
Okay, Daryl.
Yep, I do have something. And I don't know, it looks like Commissioner Brand is still on here, so that's great. I don't know if he got the email, but I emailed him last week. One of the things I ran on was to seek out some funding and other things for township-wide broadband, internet, whatever you want to call it. And one of our neighboring counties, Washtenaw County, they put together a task force at the county commissioners level. So what I done was I forwarded this out to a few people here. And the gist of it is, it's called the Rural Digital Opportunity Fund. It's a federal broadband grant program that offers 9.2 billion with a B in funding to bring digital connectivity to more than 10 million Americans. In Michigan, 13 internet providers could receive a total of $362 million over 10 years to serve 249,000 locations with a minimum connectivity speed of 25 megabytes per second. So this is out there. I know that State Representative Donna Lazinski was working on this as well, along with some commissioners from Washtenaw County. It seems that Shannon Beeman, Jason Makowski, I guess, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but if Monroe County commissioners could take a look at this, that would be great. And if you need me to resend that, Commissioner Brandt, I can definitely do that. I have a hard copy of it as well. This just got published 12/31/2020, 5:05 p.m. So it's fairly new, and I would like to see at least Monroe County get on board with the same thing that Washtenaw County's doing. And if we can get any dollars to provide for an internet service for Monroe County, that would be great. But you know, you got to ask for them first. So if we need some volunteers or whatever, like I said, that was one of the things that I ran on. And you know, I'm using my phone right now because my internet sucks. Just like a lot of other people in the township. So if you got any questions on that, please get a hold of me. And Mark, I look forward to hearing from you. Like I said, I sent you an email. If it didn't come through, let me know.
Yep, send that to me again, Daryl, because I didn't get anything from you.
Okay, and I sent it to you at the county commissioners. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one I sent it to you. I will resend that.
Okay.
We'll go
Appreciate
from
it.
there.
All right.
Thank you, Mark.
Yep, thank you.
That's all I
Okay.
got, Penny.
Okay. Also on the internet thing, I've gotten a hold of, like I said, Senator Peters, because I researched and found that this last COVID package has some internet fundings in it too. So I'm waiting to hear back from them, but it sounds pretty promising, better than Wahlberg's office was. So we'll see what happens. With that, I make a motion for adjournment.
I'll second it. What time
Adjourned
is it?
at
9:56?
9:56. Good night, everyone.
All righty.